Good to be back. Just tell us a wee bit about how it's been so far.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been enjoyable, to be back. I was sort of looking forward to getting back to work. I had a nice little break, but no, it's been good. We're working hard. Obviously, not everyone's back because of the internationals and stuff like that. But it's been good. It's been enjoyable. It's been tough, but good.
Have you given yourself time during this summer period to take a breath and look back at just what you achieved last season?
Yeah, I did. I suppose the first couple of weeks I got the chance to do that, but like the last week or so, I've been dying to get back in and sort of push for more this year. I kind of want to do better this year than last year. There's always room for improvement, and that's the aim.
What was the single biggest thing you learned from last season?
Just the relentlessness of the season. I think with international games, I played 50 games and at a high intensity as I've never done that before in a season. So just learning how to cope with that last year was good. I think that's just the plan, is to play as many games as possible, and I feel like I learned a lot from last year about keeping my body right and just being able to do that.
The way last season unfolded, the sort of ups and downs, the title race and everything that came with that, to get to the end of that with 2 trophies, does that make you more determined this year to make this season even better?
Yeah, 100%. We have a lot to achieve this year. There's obviously the 3 domestic trophies, and then the Champions League is obviously a bit different, and we're looking forward to that and getting our games in and that, and obviously picking up more results than we did, and seeing how far we can go in that tournament. So there is room for improvement, definitely. Obviously, it was a disappointing start to last season, going out with the League Cup, and obviously we want to go all the way in that. So that's the first, I suppose, trophy we can get our hands on, and that's what we're looking at.
I suppose the summer last season, there was a bit of disruption with Andrew leaving and Brendan coming in initially. Now the manager's got a full pre-season, a full summer to work with, and add his players. Is that sort of confidence there that you can bounce back even stronger at the beginning of the season, because there's a bit of familiarity there?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously the manager coming in at the start of last pre-season, he needed time to sort of get his message across and get us working the way he wanted us to work, and away from what Ange was doing here. Obviously they both have brilliant styles, so they're just different, so you got to adapt. So now that he's already had that, he won't have to work on that as much this year, and that's going to benefit us. I think we can just go straight in. We know what we're here to do, and we know how to do it. So
just in terms of that, Liam, has the manager changed anything in his message since you've been back, this week you've been back, or is it just more of the same, building on what was good from last season, just improving on that?
No, it's been pretty much the same. We finished the season strong, and it's just sort of been a carry on from that. Obviously, just the same sort of. He just wants the same intensity, the same sort of attitude from everyone, and that's what we're going to do.
So you'd expect to hit the ground running come August?
Yeah, definitely get a good pre-season in. We've obviously got our tour and a few friendly games, and we'll all be fit and strong come the first week of August.
I've got to ask you about your teammate here last season and your Ireland teammate as well, Adam Ida. Much been made about him joining the club permanently. What's your view on it, and what's the view in the changing room? How much would the boys like to have him back this season?
Yeah, we'd love to have him back. He's a great lad. He's obviously a brilliant player, but to have him in the changing room as well is brilliant. He's good. He's a good guy. He's funny. Everyone got on well with him, and we'd all love to see him back. He was massive for us. He scored massive goals and put in massive performances, and yeah, we'd all love him back. But it's obviously out of our control. So hopefully it happens. But yeah.
Obviously, everyone can see he scored massive goals in the 5 months that he was here. But what are the things that fans or journalists might not see? What does he do? What does he give you extra?
He's obviously very different to Kyogo. Kyogo's brilliant, amazing player, but Adam's got more physicality. Kyogo is better playing off people's shoulders, and he scored obviously loads of goals doing that. But Adam gives you that sort of option where you can hit his feet, and he's going to hold off the big Scottish defenders, that he's playing against. It's a great outlet for players like me, for centre halves or centre midfielders, that they can play into him, and then we can get our creative players playing off him as well. That's probably a strength that, apart from the goals he scored, that he brings.
Is that part of the aim for the squad this season? Again, I know it's not your decision, but just improving on last year, the squad getting bigger and having more options, some options off the bench. Is that where you improve in the Champions League and go on to win 3 trophies instead of 2?
Yeah, definitely. I I think being able to adapt and change, especially in the Champions League, like most games domestically, we can play the same way because we're going to have a lot of the ball, and a lot of teams sit off us, so you can pretty much go out with the same game plan most weeks. Obviously there's little bits and pieces you have to change for certain teams, but it's definitely good to have different options and different styles playing against Champions League teams, for instance, because you might not have as much of the ball, you might have to defend more, and like for us to have different players for different options, it would be great. Yeah.
Just in terms of Adam, the goals that he scored, so I mean, you look back on the goals that he did score, last minute goals, crucial goals, cup winning goals, he was such a difference maker, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the thing, because he was coming on in a lot of games, and maybe Kyogo had ran the centre halves ragged, and Adam was coming on, and he's completely different threat. You know, he's bigger, he's a more physical threat, and it sort of that worked in our favour, because he could come on and really like physically challenge these defenders, and a lot of the time he would beat them to balls, he'd score brilliant goals, and it was, yeah, he was quality, you know. I don't think it could have gone any better for him.
Just in terms of the Champions League, I mean, obviously the pressure was on the manager last season. A lot of people were focusing in on Europe. This season, new format, no one really knows what it's going to be like. You must be relishing and exciting that prospect of playing so many different games right until January, I suppose it is now.
Yeah, 100%. Like getting the extra games in the group. It's 2 extra games, isn't it?
Yeah,
like and you're playing against a different team each time. You know, it's gonna bring loads of different experiences, and just to have 2 extra games in a tournament guaranteed is brilliant, because that's sort of things you look back on at the end and look and remember fondly. You know, so. And it gives us more chances to win games in it, because we obviously won the last one we played, and that's left us sort of hungry to kick on and pick up points.
Do you feel the new format is almost in the favour of teams like Celtic, who have traditionally been a pot 4 side? The fact that you're going to be playing 2 other pot 4 teams, 2 other pot 3 teams, instead of just traditionally 1 pot 1, 1 pot 2, 1 pot 3. Is it more in your favour? Is there more of a chance that you could progress this year?
It's hard to tell, but I think so. Yeah, like. It probably is because of that, you know, that you're playing 2 from pot 4 and 2 from pot 3, but they're still going to be challenging games, and I suppose we won't really know until next year when we've played a year in it. But it'll be interesting, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.